series. I'm here with John Fehr, mayoral candidate for this upcoming civic election. John, you've been on council for a number of years already, correct?
I've been on council 2 terms, which is 8 years.
And now you are embracing the chance of being a mayor.
That's what I'm going for, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking for a different chair.
So if it's all right with you, I'll just jump right into some of the questions that we have.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there.
Good.
So first question for you, John, has to do with economic development, which has become a hot topic in chamber world at least, as to how the city of Steinbach can embrace a strategy to help bring new business and I guess also encourage current business to grow, but specifically the new business, attracting new businesses. What do you think is a good strategy for the city of Steinbach to look at for that?
Well, I feel kind of like I'm using a bit of a cheat sheet because in our meeting that we had regarding economic development, it was a really big eye opener for me on a lot of things. It's not as though I'm oblivious to all the issues, but there are some issues that needed to be brought up a notch, and I think that as a city, there's certain things that we can do much better than we have. One of the things that I particularly liked about was the fact that to develop an economic development office, and we've had that discussion. I know that I've brought that up at council in study session a few times, and it never really gained traction. And I think it needs to come back. And I think that we need to really put a lot of effort into that, because there's many opportunities that are out there to attract some businesses that are going to be bring a lot of industry and jobs and just all the spin-off that they bring, the tax base, if we can attract some of those businesses. And I think that we've really haven't done justice to that. And so I think that's something that I'd like to see us employ.
And of course, once businesses are here, or even those that are here, there's sometimes challenges that businesses face. From your perspective, what is a challenge that businesses in Steinbach face, and how can City Council work together to help overcome those challenges for business?
Well, I think that some of the challenges that I hear at times is that people feel that the city isn't as friendly to do business with as what they'd like to see. And that is a course that we've been on for a while, and I think that we've taken a lot of measures to improve that a lot. I know that we've several steps that have been taken. I won't go into detail, where we have put a lot of emphasis on customer service, and I think in a lot of ways the city needs to adapt some of the philosophies of a business community where it's driven by customer service. Nobody likes to deal with powers where you get the feeling that you're in the way or you're a problem. I think that what we need to do is we need to sometimes just take a little bit extra time to explain why things are the way they are. And I think some of our staff have done that, as we saw one of our inspectors received an award last night, and I think that was very, very valuable. I talked to people that thought that was excellent because he had been so helpful. So we hear those stories as well, and we'd like that, to hear that from everybody on staff. And we have, a fairly large staff, and not everybody always does. And being in business, and not everybody always does what the management would like them to do. So, but we are working at trying to make the city more pleasant to do business with, and empathize with some of our taxpayers.
Okay. So on the flip side, there's always good things about doing business in Steinbach as well. Some strengths that we have here as a business community and as a city. Mm-hmm. So what do you think are 2 of the strengths that we have that make Steinbach a competitive place to do business, and how can council help encourage that more?
Well, we have a very, very good business community, and when you see the chamber has very, very young faces and very energetic faces, and some with really fresh ideas. And I think that's a very, very strong thing. I think the mentorship program that has been used has been invaluable as well, because we have some very, very seasoned businesses, and I think that they can add a lot of value to a lot of the fledgling businesses here. So I think that our infrastructure, I think, is in very good shape. I think that the city's done a great job of that to make sure that our infrastructure is in place with the new water treatment plant coming up as well, with the water storage. So I think that the city is trying to think ahead, and a lot of times this isn't something that people see, but we don't see a lot of catastrophic failures, and that's because we try to make sure that our infrastructure is in good shape, even the stuff that you don't see.
Right.
And so I think that's something that the city has done right. And so there's certain things that we can strengthen for sure, but I think that we also don't want to lose sight of those things that we have done right.
Right. So for anyone who is in council position or a mayoral position, we kind of work in 4-year terms. So when you kind of picture, if you do get into the mayoral seat, a vision that you might have for the next 4 years, what kind of things come to mind for you that are part of your vision?
Well, I think what there's a couple of things. I think I've heard a fair bit of people commenting on the multiplex, and I really believe that we need to start moving ahead with that. We tend to rely so much on other government levels of funding, and sometimes the federal government kind of dictates or has their own agenda that they pursue, and they support certain projects, and because they've got a certain direction they're going on. And so I think that there are times when we as a community need to say, these are not necessarily our best priorities, and maybe we need to we need to, of course, we need to push for to help with funding on some of our things and try to make it fit whatever funding we can receive, but to be held to certain projects that they deem more valuable than what we might deem here is a bit of a problem. Because if we wait 10 years to do a project that we know we're going to do, to wait is going to cost us double in 10 years' time. So if we get a 20% help in funding, it doesn't take much mathematics to say that was a bad idea to wait. We have waited 8 years, and we have seen the costs continue to go up. So I think that we need to move ahead with that. That's one of the things. The other thing is, I think we need to start looking at establishing the Economic Development Office so that we can attract more business to our community, which will help us, fund some of these projects that we need as well. So I think that there's a lot of things, and to establish that office isn't maybe something that you're going to see immediate results, but I think that over the next 4 years, I think we're going to be able to see some movement if we can get on track with that in the near future.
Okay. Anything else that comes to mind for you when you think of the upcoming number of weeks until the election regarding your campaign that you'd like to share with the people who might be watching here today?
Well, I'd encourage the people to visit my Facebook page, John Fehr for Mayor, periodically, and because a lot of the things that my platform are on there, and I keep updating it, or we keep updating, my team keeps updating. I'm not very good at technology, but I have a very, very good team, and a lot of the things that I support are on there. And if you have any questions, you can always ask them on there as well, and maybe that'll cause us to make a video about that as well. So we want to try to make sure that we cover off everything that we can realistically accomplish.
Well, good. Well, John, I definitely appreciate you coming in. So on behalf of the Chamber, just thanks for sharing your thoughts to the people who are going to be watching this video. And everyone who's watching right now, just encourage you to watch the other videos, but also to go out and vote on Election Day and vote for the person who you feel represents the best chance for Steinbach to continue to grow and be successful. John, thank you so much for coming and sharing your thoughts, and all the best.
Appreciate it.